The journey toward inner peace and mastery through silence is one of the most profound transformations a person can undergo. In a world filled with constant noise, whether it's external through social media, the news, or the endless conversations around us, or internal through our own unrelenting thoughts, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. We've been conditioned to believe that speaking up, making our voices heard, and defending our opinions are the only ways to assert ourselves. But what if the most powerful way to live wasn't through talking, but through mastering silence? If you're ready to discover the profound impact that silence can have on your life, stick with us as we dive deep into this transformative practice. And if this resonates with you, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with others who may also be seeking a quieter, more meaningful path. Your journey starts here, and we're grateful to be a part of it. Let's start with why silence feels so foreign. We live in a culture that values expression, where everyone is encouraged to speak their mind, share their opinions, and make their mark. Whether it's posting a picture on Instagram, debating politics at a dinner party, or defending yourself in an argument, the message is the same. If you don't speak up, you'll be forgotten. But here's where we've been misled. The truth is, the more we speak, the more we risk giving away our power. Every word we say can be used against us, twisted, misinterpreted, or misunderstood. The more we explain ourselves, the more we allow others to dictate our worth. And most critically, the more we speak, the less we listen, not just to others, but to ourselves. We're afraid of silence because deep down, it forces us to confront our own thoughts. It forces us to sit with ourselves, to face the insecurities and doubts that bubble beneath the surface. In many ways, we talk to drown out that inner voice, the one that's constantly questioning our value, our purpose, our direction in life. But what if, instead of drowning it out, we chose to listen? What if we embraced silence not as a void, but as a tool for growth and self-discovery? That's where the real transformation begins. When we choose silence, something remarkable happens. We begin to see the world and ourselves more clearly. Without the need to constantly prove ourselves through words, we start to notice the subtle dynamics at play in our lives. We become more attuned to the people around us, their motivations, their fears, their insecurities. But more importantly, we become more attuned to ourselves. Think of silence as a mirror. When you stop filling every moment with conversation, you're forced to reflect. You start to see the patterns in your own behavior, the things you say out of habit, the opinions you defend out of pride, the emotions you express out of fear. It's uncomfortable at first, but with time, you realize that this reflection is a gift. It allows you to identify the areas of your life that need growth, the habits that need breaking, and the emotions that need healing. The Stoics knew this well. They understood that silence wasn't about retreating from life, but about engaging with it on a deeper level. Epictetus famously said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." The power of silence lies not in what we don't say, but in what we choose to observe when we stop talking. One of the most profound changes that happens when you embrace silence is the way it transforms your relationships. Most of us approach conversations with a goal in mind, whether it's to prove a point, win an argument, or simply make ourselves feel understood. But when you remove that need to assert yourself, something magical happens. You start to listen, really listen. In conversations, silence gives you the opportunity to hear not just the words people are saying, but the emotions behind them. You begin to notice the subtle shifts in tone, the pauses that reveal more than words ever could, and the unspoken feelings that often get lost in the noise of everyday life. When you stop talking just to fill the silence, you become more present. You're no longer thinking about what you're going to say next or how you're going to respond. Instead, you're fully engaged with the person in front of you, giving them your undivided attention. And here's the beautiful part. When people feel truly heard, they open up. They trust you more. They respect you more. They value your presence, not because of what you say, but because of the space you create for them to be themselves. In arguments, silence can be a game changer. How many times have you found yourself in a heated debate where both sides are talking over each other, neither really listening? Now imagine this. In the middle of that chaos, you choose silence. You don't react. You don't defend. You simply listen. What happens? The energy shifts. The other person, expecting a fight, is met with calm. They start to question their own argument, their own emotions. They lose the fuel that keeps the argument going. And you, by choosing silence, maintain your power. This doesn't mean you avoid difficult conversations. It means you approach them with intention. You speak only when necessary, and when you do, your words carry more weight. Silence, when used wisely, turns conflict into an opportunity for understanding. But the most profound impact of silence isn't what it does to your relationships, it's what it does to you. When you practice silence, you're no longer a slave to your thoughts. You're no longer driven by the need to react, to defend, to prove. Instead, you become the observer of your own mind. Our thoughts are like a river, constantly flowing, often out of control. But when you practice silence, it's as if you're stepping out of the river and standing on the bank, watching the water rush by. You're no longer swept away by every thought that crosses your mind. Instead, you can see your thoughts for what they are: temporary, fleeting, often unimportant. This shift in perspective is liberating. You realize that your thoughts don't control you. You control them. And when you stop giving so much power to every thought, you find a sense of peace that was previously hidden beneath the noise. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, understood this well. In his meditations, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you stop reacting to every thought, every emotion, every external event, you begin to reclaim your power. You become the master of your own mind. Once you've embraced silence in your daily life, you'll start to notice the ripple effects. Your decision-making becomes clearer. Without the noise of constant thoughts and opinions, you're able to see situations more objectively. You're no longer driven by fear or ego, but by a calm, centered understanding of what truly matters. Silence also gives you the space to reflect on your values, your goals, and your purpose. In the hustle and bustle of life, it's easy to lose sight of what's important. We get caught up in the day-to-day grind, constantly reacting to the demands of others. But when you practice silence, you create the space to reconnect with yourself. You begin to ask the deeper questions. What do I truly value? What kind of person do I want to be? Am I living in alignment with my values? These are the questions that lead to growth, that push you to become the best version of yourself. For many of us, the idea of silence feels risky. We worry that if we don't speak up, we'll be overlooked. We fear that if we don't defend ourselves, others will think less of us. But here's the paradox. The more we feel the need to assert ourselves, the more we lose our sense of self. When you're constantly speaking, constantly defending, you're giving away your power. You're allowing others to dictate your worth. But when you choose silence, you reclaim that power. You're no longer reacting to the opinions of others. You're grounded in your own sense of self-worth. And here's the truth. People respect those who don't feel the need to prove themselves. When you can sit in silence, unshaken by the need for approval, you project a quiet confidence that others are drawn to. You become a person of few words, but those words carry immense weight. The more you integrate silence into your life, the more you'll notice its ripple effect. It starts with small shifts, pausing before reacting, listening more attentively, speaking with intention. But over time, these small changes lead to profound transformation. You'll notice that you're no longer as easily affected by external circumstances. The opinions of others, the chaos of the world, and even your own thoughts and emotions no longer have the power to disrupt your peace. You become more resilient, more grounded, and more in control of your life. Silence also gives you the space to reflect on what truly matters. In the noise of daily life, It's easy to lose sight of your values, goals, and purpose. But in the quiet moments of reflection, you reconnect with what's most important to you. You begin to make decisions that are aligned with your true self, rather than reacting to the demands of others. This clarity of purpose allows you to live more intentionally. You no longer waste energy on things that don't matter. Instead, you focus on what brings you fulfillment and joy. You create a life that is aligned with your values, one that is meaningful and purpose-driven. If you're ready to experience the transformative power of silence, here are a few practical ways to start. To truly embrace silence in your daily life, it requires more than just finding quiet spaces. It's about intentionally cultivating stillness within. It's a shift in how you approach your day, your conversations, and most importantly, yourself. Start by carving out moments of solitude where you can sit with your thoughts. It doesn't have to be a grand ritual. Perhaps it's the few minutes when you first wake up or right before bed. These pockets of silence allow you to check in with yourself, uninterrupted by the demands of the outside world. In these moments, you simply allow your thoughts to come and go, without judgment, without needing to react. You begin to realize that silence isn't an absence of sound, but a presence of peace. When you engage with others, practice mindful listening. How often do we jump into conversations eager to offer our own perspective before truly hearing the other person? Silence in these moments is not about holding back, but about being fully present. Listen deeply, noticing the tone, body language, and what's left unsaid. You'll find that when you stop rushing to speak, the conversations become more meaningful, more authentic. Silence allows space for others to express themselves more fully, and for you to connect more deeply. Silence is also a powerful response. In moments of conflict or criticism, the instinct to defend yourself can be strong. But imagine choosing silence instead, giving yourself a moment to breathe, to process, and to respond only when you found clarity. In that pause, you reclaim control, not just over the conversation, but over your emotions. You stop reacting impulsively and start responding with intention. Incorporating practices like meditation or simply spending time in nature can deepen your relationship with silence. These are the moments where you step outside the noise of the world and reconnect with something more profound, whether it's the stillness of the trees or the rhythm of your breath. It doesn't require long stretches of time. Even a few minutes can ground you, bringing a sense of inner calm that stays with you throughout the day. Finally, silence gives you the space to reflect on your values. It invites you to ask the bigger questions. Are you living in alignment with who you want to be? Are your actions, decisions, and relationships supporting your true self? In the quiet, you have the clarity to see what needs to change and the courage to start living more authentically. The journey of silence isn't about retreating from life. It's about engaging with it more deeply, with intention, with purpose. When you allow silence to guide you, you'll find that it not only transforms your relationship with others, but also with yourself. Beyond the external benefits of silence lies its most profound gift: inner peace. When you cultivate inner silence, you begin to quiet the noise in your mind. You stop being pulled in 1,000 directions by your thoughts and emotions. Instead, you find a stillness that allows you to observe your thoughts without getting caught up in them. This state of inner calm, known as ataraxia in Stoic philosophy, is not about suppressing emotions, but about being unshaken by them. In silence, you learn to sit with discomfort, to let your thoughts and feelings rise and fall without reacting to them. This creates a sense of inner freedom, a freedom from the constant pull of your mind. As you deepen your practice of silence, you'll notice that you become more grounded, more centered. The things that used to trigger stress or anxiety no longer have the same hold on you. You are no longer a slave to your thoughts and emotions. Instead, you are the observer of them, and in that space of observation you find peace. Mastering silence is not about retreating from the world, it's about engaging with it more fully. It's about finding the strength to be still in a world that constantly demands more. And in that stillness, you'll discover a power greater than words, a power that transforms your life from the inside out. In choosing silence, you reclaim your peace, your authenticity, and your power. You become the master of your own mind, no longer swayed by the opinions of others or the noise of the world. And in that mastery, you find a deep sense of freedom, the freedom to live life on your terms. So as you move forward, I encourage you to carry this practice with you, to pause, to listen, and to let silence guide your way. If this message has resonated with you, I'd love for you to join me on this path by subscribing to the channel and sharing this experience with others. Your voice, your journey, and your presence are invaluable, and together, we can continue to grow in ways that truly matter.